Perfect.
All right, should we get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. This is Career Lab for the Q1 2022 cohort. It's really good to see everybody. I'm excited. A lot of you, some of you have already had your final call for your cohort or your team this cohort, and a bunch of you have it coming up this afternoon. So hoping it feels good to be kind of wrapping that up and feeling some accomplishment. These next 2 weeks, we're gonna work on kind of helping you get those jobs. So the first week at a high level is going to be, helping you get the interview, and then the second week is going to be helping you do well in the interview. So before we get into the details of it, I'd like to go around and just do some introductions. It's a fairly big group, so we'll try to keep it a little bit light, but I'd love to have everybody just kind of say your name and where you're located, and what's your what team or teams have you been involved with at Collab Lab, I guess, or kind of what your affiliation is, what brings you here. So I'll start. Andrew Hedges. I'm founder of Collab Lab. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I haven't mentored in a while directly, but might in the next cohort or two. We'll see. Yeah, Stacie, you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Stacie, she, her, hers. I'm in Sacramento, California, and also haven't directly mentored a team in even longer than Andrew has, but do a lot to keep the lights on around Collab Lab. So I'm sure you've all seen me in some capacity. What was the other question? Oh, that's it. I'll just pass it to my right to Chris Korsak. Sorry.
Hi.
I see Chris Dopich waving too. Hi, Chris.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Korsak. I'm from Portland, Oregon, he, him, and I participated in the last 8 weeks in TCL 38. And how about Elena to my right?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Alina, she, her. I'm the participant of TCL 36, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. And next one, Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm also in TCL 36. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm in Southern California, Ontario. And I'll pass it to Shelly, who's next for me.
Oh, you're muted, Shelly. There you go.
Yep, Shelly, she, her, Atlanta, Georgia, also on the best represented team, TCL 36. So I have to pass it and skip everybody and go to Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. I'm totally blanked. She, her, Washington, D.C. I'm a mentor this time on 36, but I've been a participant in the past. I think that's everything. So, Rafa.
Hey everyone, my name is Rafa, pronouns they, them. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm part of TCL 37. Viviana?
No, hi, I'm Viviana, pronouns she, her. I'm from Tulare, California, and I'm also in group 37. And then I'll pass it to Alejandro.
Just hi everyone, I am Alejandro. I was a mentor for the 39, and now I am a mentor for the Career Lab. I'm so happy and excited. Pronoun he, here. Next, D is correct.
Yes, thank you. Hey, I am Dee or Diana. I am based in Portland, she, her pronouns, and I am in TCL 38. It's nice to connect with you all. I will pass it to Frank.
Hi, my name is Frank. I just started as a mentor. I'm sorry, he, him. Live in the Philadelphia area. Glad to be here. Pass along to Nick.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick, he, him. I was in TCL 26, I think. I'm in Washington, D.C. And never got a chance to do this. So thanks, Stacie, for getting me the invite.
Sure. Pass it to Kathy.
Hi, Kathy Lambert, TCL 11. So it's been a while.
Minute,
I
for
know.
sure.
Super excited to be here. And thank you to Andrew and Stacie for the invitation and extending it out to, pre-Collab Career Lab individuals. I am still not fully claiming, so I'll say temporarily based in Southwest Georgia. I'm still looking for a more permanent home. And I think I covered all the bases, but I think that's it. Oh, it's just doing software development as freelance, mainly full stack, but also front end, mainly focusing on front end. That's it. And I will, let's see, I will, I can't remember the appropriate term, but I will put, maybe it's popcorn to, to Yolanda.
Hello, can everybody hear me? All right.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Hi, my name is Yolanda. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm from San Diego, California. I'm a junior software engineer. I was a past participant in TCL 27, and this time I'm helping out as a mentor for Career Lab. So I will popcorn it. Hold on, let me see who hasn't gone to Abraham.
Hi there, I'm Abraham, engineering manager at Dropbox. This is my first time as a mentor, so happy to help. My pronouns are he and him, and I don't know who to popcorn it to, so please someone pick for me.
Angelica.
Hey, yeah, that's me. So my name is Angelica. I am first-time mentor here with the Collab Labs. Otherwise, let's see. I am a front-end developer with a small startup based in Chicago. I joined late, so I'm not sure if I was supposed to say anything else.
That's probably pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
I think Kristen, you haven't gone yet. Is that right?
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Monick, she, her, hers. I'm based in Montreal, Quebec, and I am one of the developers for TCL 38. And I will pass it to Cynthia.
Hey, hello. Hi, I'm in TCL 38 as well. I'm in New York City, and my name's Cynthia. That's about it. I don't know if anybody else is gone or not.
Aditya?
Sure. Hey, my name's Aditya. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a developer, I guess, / manager here at Goldman Sachs, and first time at Collab Lab. So happy to be here.
I think that's everybody. There was somebody Jay, who joined the call on my left, so I'm not sure who that was, but
did Chris Dopish go? Chris
Dopish.
Dopish.
How can we forget Chris Dopish?
We already
Chris Dopish.
we already had another Chris from Portland, so I honestly it wasn't even needed.
We met our
really.
quota.
We met our quota. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Chris Dopich. I use he, him pronouns. I'm also located in Portland, Oregon. I work at Zapier with Andrew and Stacie and a bunch of the other fantastic Zapians. I've been involved at TCL before because I was a mentor on TCL 17, which was awesome. And I now work with both of the mentors who I mentored with on that team, which is double awesome. And I've also done the technical interview prep presentation before, and I'm going to be rehashing that again this year for this group as well. So I think I'm last though, right? Has anyone else not gone?
I think that's right.
We did it.
We did it. Those were great intros. Excellent. Okay, well, what we're going to do is walk through the kind of curriculum and schedule that we have planned. And this is super casual, so if you have questions, shout them out or pop them in the chat if you want, and we'll have time at the end too. It won't take too long to get through all this, to just chat about what we're going to do and, answer any questions you have. So without further ado, I will share my screen and we'll go through it. Let me also send you the link to what we're looking at, because this is in GitHub and it's going to be your source of truth for what you need to do over the next 2 weeks. So the way you'll use this is save this link somewhere, and this is where you'll go to check out the schedule and what you need to be doing and get more details about every session we'll be running and every assignment you'll have for Career Lab. But what we'll do is just go through it all so you are familiar with what's there. Some important things to know is that throughout Career Lab, you'll be paired up with mentors for a couple different things. So LinkedIn reviews, mock interviews. It's the Collabie's responsibility to reach out to the mentor to schedule things. So we'll go over what needs to be scheduled in this session, But just know it is never too early to get things scheduled. So I highly, highly recommend that you reach out to your mentors today to try and schedule the things that you're going to be doing next week, just so everybody can get on their calendars. And you'll probably hear me say that multiple times, and it'll be annoying, but I swear it's important. Okay, so with that, today is Career Lab orientation. Yay! I'll open up this page just so you can see. Okay, so we put together Career Lab to help you get the job. And as Andrew said, the first week is very much centered around getting you the interview. So beefing up your LinkedIn, learning how to tell your story. And then the second week is all about interviewing, where you'll actually be doing interviews. And it's super helpful because you don't want your first practice round to be in a position where you're actually trying to get a job. So use this time to practice and say the things out loud and get ready and shake off some of the nerves so that when you actually go into the job interviews, you nail them. Okay, so it's happening. Let's do it. All right, so back to the schedule. That's today. Check. I should put little check boxes on here where I can. Anyway, okay, so today through next Friday. So you have a whole week to do this, but don't underestimate how much time it takes. You will be updating your LinkedIns. And we have this incredible session put together by our friend Crystal that'll walk you through exactly what each piece of your LinkedIn should include. So the very first thing you'll be doing for Career Lab is this session. You'll go in here, you'll watch all the videos, you'll read everything that she wrote. It is translated into Spanish over here, and you'll update your LinkedIn. And this is incredible content. If you're a mentor on the call, you should watch it too, because you'll probably be surprised by how much updating you should likely do on your LinkedIn.
Well, plus as the mentor, if you're reviewing LinkedIn profiles, then you'll be needing to use the same rubric to evaluate everybody's LinkedIn profile.
So anyway, first thing, go in, update your LinkedIn, follow the guides here. The next thing that'll be happening is on Tuesday, we'll have a session with Lisa Smith, who is a manager at Netflix, on how to tell your story. There's not a lot in here because we'll get to the presentation with her. She has some slides and we'll do kind of workshop things in that session where we'll pair up with some buddies in breakout rooms and talk through how to tell our stories. Something really important to do. If you don't have like an elevator pitch, it can be really powerful when you have very little time to wow people with who you are and what you do. Okay, on Wednesday, March 9th, the next day, we'll host a LinkedIn profile Q&A because you'll be updating your LinkedIn kind of right now over the next few days, and you'll likely have a lot of questions. So join us for a Q&A where you can just ask things like, I have this kind of strange experience and I'm not quite sure how to position it on my LinkedIn. How would you recommend it? Or, you know, I'm actually running into some technical issues on how to display this thing on my LinkedIn right. And we'll kind of walk through some of those things too. So join us. If you're a mentor, join us too, because you all have looked at people's LinkedIn and know what is good to see there as well. Okay, also I want to call out right now that all of the synchronous sessions will be recorded as well, so that you can watch them on replay if you can't make it. I do totally encourage you to come live though, if you can, because it can be really valuable to ask questions. Okay, so starting today through Friday, you can be working on your LinkedIn, but mentors are going to be reviewing your LinkedIn profiles. And so between Wednesday and Saturday this week, you'll want to submit that to your mentor that you're paired up with so that they can review it and have time to give you really good feedback. So no later than this coming Friday, please send that LinkedIn to the mentor you're paired up with down here. If you get it done early, send it early. Early is always good. But no later than Friday, send that over. And your mentor will be using this rubric to review your LinkedIn and giving you some good feedback about what things you can improve, what things are really great. And a lot of, in the past, I've had a handful, I shouldn't say a lot of people, a handful of people have been like, I'm just not done with it. It feels like it's never done. And that's okay. Come Friday, send your mentor what you have if you're still not done, because it can kind of help give you guidance on maybe what's the most important thing you need to work on next. Any questions about the LinkedIn process, week one, working on your LinkedIn, asking questions about it, and then getting it reviewed? Pretty straightforward, but if you have questions, do let us know.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward if you follow the rubric, but it does take a significant time because you have to think through things and write, try to find a nice succinct way to sum up your experience and that kind of thing. So don't underestimate how much time it's going to take. Like don't leave it towards the end of the week and try to
Exactly.
be scrambling or something.
This, like, Collabs have reported that this is the thing that takes the most amount of time in the entire Career Lab experience. So it's hard to talk about yourself. It really is.
Yeah.
So start it early.
But a tip for that though is that if you go to our website and the Who We Are page, we link to everybody's LinkedIn, including everybody who's been through the program. So you can go back and you could look at how other people describe their experience too, and just borrow language from them. So you don't have to make it all up yourself.
I love that. Exactly. Okay, cool. So mentors are going to review your LinkedIn profiles at the end of this coming week. On Friday, we have a couple really fun sessions that you can attend. The first one is what to ask your interviewers. It's a Q&A. So throughout this week, you'll want to pop into this document, and Andrew's got a really great video about what to ask your interviews, which is a really important piece of the interview process. And then there's an assignment here. Andrew, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So, and there's a transcript both in English and Spanish for the video too. So, yeah, basically what I'm asking you to do after you've watched the video or read the transcript is to think back to previous jobs that you've had, or other kind of, maybe it could be volunteering experiences, anything like that, and think about like good things that were good about those jobs and things that were sort of less optimal for you about those things. So it might be your relationship with your manager. Maybe there was friction there, and like there's maybe some kind of mismatch or something. Maybe you were on a really supportive team, and like that was something that kind of gave you a lot of energy. But just kind of think through what those things are for you, and then you'll be coming up with some kind of questions that you think are going to help you get to kind of uncovering whether the place where you're interviewing like has those qualities. So this Q&A section is really going to be about you kind of bring your questions, and you can kind of say like, here's the thing I'm trying to uncover, and here's my question. Do you think that's going to get at it? Or if somebody answers, how would I interpret their answer, and that kind of thing. So we'll just kind of talk through a little bit of like making sure everybody has at least a few really good questions to ask when it comes time to like, do you have any questions for us at the end of the interview?
As an interviewer too, when people have like really thoughtful questions, it's like a power move. You're like, oh, wow, you came prepared. So it looks really good. Don't underestimate that. When people come with like the basic questions, like, can you tell me about your culture? It's kind of like, I mean, sure, yeah, I'd be happy to, but don't you want to know more than that? So yeah, I love this session. Okay, so work on that. Come ask questions, talk about what you learned. Also share things. Like you probably come up with really great questions that'll be helpful for other people to hear too. So help your buddies out. Give them some good stuff. Okay, so that's a synchronous session. Again, will be recorded. And then there's a really fun one later in the afternoon. Watch our mentors interview each other. Again, these are both on Friday. They will be recorded. But in this, fast forwarding a little bit, in week 2, y'all will be doing a job fit mock interview and a technical mock interview. So what we're doing in this session is you'll watch Collab Lab mentors interview each other so you can see what those will be like and will feel like. And I'm going to be doing the job fit interview with Andrew. And for that, I'm going to try and roll back my experiences as if, I haven't been working in the field for a while, and just kind of leaning on the Collab Lab experience so that y'all can get ideas about how you might use your Collab Lab experience as if it was just another job that you had in these interviews. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you to hear. And then we also have a technical interview that will be Lewis and Jennifer. And they'll be doing the exact same technical interview you'll be doing at Collab Lab as well. So Jennifer will do the take-home assignment that you're going to be doing and then interview on that assignment. So you can just get a feel for how technical interviews can go. As Chris will teach you later in the second week, they do not all go the same, but this is how we do it here. Okay, so come to that session. You get to watch us do it. It's really nerve-wracking even for mentors to be interviewed in front of a bunch of people. So it's fun to see. All right, so that's week 1. Again, week 1, you want to get scheduling taken care of with your mentors for the second week, but mostly you'll be working on your LinkedIns, coming to a couple fun sessions to ask questions and learn more. and working on coming up with your questions for your interviews. Week 2, this is when we really get into the interview process and get to start practicing. So the first thing that you'll do is starting next weekend, about this time, you'll start working on the take-home assignment. And so you'll see in the schedule date that this is Saturday the 12th through your technical mock interview, because you have to have your take-home assignment done before your mock interview. So if your mock interview is on the following Saturday, you can be working on completing the take-home assignment all week. But if you schedule your technical mock interview for Tuesday, then you have like 3 days to work on it. So just be mindful that you probably want to try and schedule your technical mock interview for later in the second week. And I'll send those details in Slack too, so that they can be top of mind. But let's take a look at it. Okay, so next Saturday, what you'll do is start your take-home assignment, which you can find the link to GitHub here. Once the assignment is complete, you'll send a link to your repo to the mentor that'll be doing your technical interview, because they have a rubric that they'll kind of go by to evaluate your take-home assignment. And you can find your partner there. But let's look at the take-home assignment real quick. In this repo, you'll use this template to get your own version of the code. So you're not going to be pushing anything to this specific repo here, but you'll want your own version. And that's pretty common with take-home assignments from other companies. There's some good details. Well, I think this needs to be updated because we're using a template now and it still says—
Yeah, get rid of all the stuff about forking.
How to fork it. Okay, anyway, so it goes into great detail down here about what exactly you're going to be doing, but at a high level, and I'll let you all read this on your own, at a high level, you'll be converting text. So there's a basic structure of an app, and you just need to go in and update that code so that it does some converting. Here's the thing. This, like, I don't like to say things are easy, but it's caused some confusion in the past. This shouldn't take you much time at all. So if you get in here and you finish this in like an hour, don't think that you are missing something. You're not missing anything. It's set up to be fairly intuitive and simple because we don't really care about the technical piece. We're mostly here to talk through it. So don't spend too much time on this. Shouldn't take you too long. If it does start taking you a significant amount of time, please, please, please reach out in the cohort channel or to a mentor so we can help make sure you're staying on task. Any other comments, questions, concerns about the take-home assignment?
Yeah, it is relatively simple. And the thing, we're just trying to give you practice in an interview setting, kind of under that kind of pressure of talking through your code and things. So yeah, you might look at it and be like, that's it?
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's it. That's fine.
Exactly. People have come in the past and been like, am I doing it wrong? Because it didn't take me that long. I'm like, no, you did it. Great. Okay, so you'll be working on completing that starting next weekend so that you can prepare for your technical interview. Get rid of that. Oop. Okay, next is pair interview practice. So starting next weekend, anytime throughout the week, it can honestly be after your interviews, but it's more helpful if you do it before your mock interviews. You'll be doing pair interview practice with a Collab partner, just so you can kind of talk through the questions that we'll be going over. And you can also talk about your own experiences at Collab Lab and get ideas about like, oh wait, that happened to me too. That's actually a really good thing to say in an interview. I'm gonna snag that and use it. So you've been paired up, I have a code script that does this. If you got paired up with somebody who is in your team, if you want to meet somebody new, just reach out to anybody else on the list and be like, hey, do you want to pair? Because that could happen. Or if you're more comfortable and it just feels right, then do that. Basically what I'm saying here is pair with whoever, just pair. It's important to just pair. Could be with anybody. Absolutely vital. We actually made this a required section of Career Lab that was optional before, but in the last cohort, they were like, that was the most valuable thing that we did, was pairing up with other Collabbies to talk through answers to these questions. Anyway, you'll pair up and we have job fit interview questions and technical interview questions. And these are exactly what your interviewers will be asking you on your mock interviews. So get buttoned up responses to all of these and just practice them along. So here's job fit interview questions, and here are technical interview questions. You'll notice on the technical interview questions, there are a lot of them. But when it actually comes to your interview, you'll probably only be asked 3, 4 of them. But they're good to know answers to all of these things, because when you go out to do technical interviews, there's some pretty common questions that you might be asked. Okay, thoughts on pairing up to just talk through interview questions? Good on that? Okay, cool. And pair with multiple people if you want. If you get extra time and you want to keep practicing, please do. It's great. Will be helpful the more you practice, I promise. Okay, pair interview. After that, we've got Chris Dopich on how to rock the technical interview, an absolutely crucial session, learning about all the different facets of technical interviewing and really good, oh, presenter name. Name is presenting this, it's Chris. But just learning about how to really rock it and some techniques to kind of keep you focused and keep you on track and make you shine. We can also call Chris name if you want. If you forget his name, just name is good. So that one's really great. Again, will be recorded if you can't make it, but absolutely rewatch it. It's brilliant. I love this chat. Okay. The next 2 things that are going to be happening in the week are your job fit and your technical mock interviews. They don't have to happen in any particular order. Generally in life, it will be that you do your job fit first, followed by your technical interview, but sometimes that's not always true. And at Collab Lab, you know, we don't need to coordinate all that mess. So just schedule them whenever works for you and your mentor's schedules. But let's go over the job fit one first. Okay, so each Collabby is going to be paired with a mentor for the job fit interviews. They will be 1 hour, including time for you to ask those questions that you prepared in week 1. Job fit interviews usually happen early in the recruiting process, and they're really designed to see if you're a good fit for the role, for the company, for the team that's looking to hire somebody. So they're very important. Let's see. Okay, interview preparation. Collabbies, what you need to do is, like, right now, reach out to the person you're paired with down here and get something in the books for probably late next week. Next week sometime, later next week will be more helpful and give you more time to prepare. Mentors will send the Collabby a job fit description from either their own company, or they'll send you this one. And this is just so that when you get into these mock interviews, it can feel weird because you're like, but there's no real role. I'm not really sure how to role play this. So having a job description and like shooting for that as your job, like I know I'm interviewing for this position, will give you a little more direction when it comes into mock interviewing. So if you're a mentor and you have an open role at your company or a job description, send that over with, because it's what you will be most comfortable with when it comes to answering questions. If you don't have one, we also grabbed one that's from Zapier here that you can use as well. So as a Collabby, you would read this and you'd be like, okay, that's the job I'm applying for. And this might help shape the questions that you're going to ask the interviewers, or the things that you talk about in an interview. So if you're on a job description and they talk about a very specific, you know, like collaboration style or something, you can kind of be prepared to talk about the way you collaborate and what you've learned. That's a very high level example, but do get familiar with job descriptions before you go into an interview. Basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, so again, Collabbies will reach out, get something scheduled. Mentors will send you a job description, or they'll send you this one. The mentor will also, you both actually will review the job fit interview questions, the same ones that you're going to be pairing up on with your fellow Collabbies, because they're exactly what will be asked in your actual interview. And then you should prepare the questions to do. Here's another to do. Sorry, this isn't super buttoned up, friends. This will link out to Andrew's session on developing these questions. Okay, so after you've prepared, again, hopefully in the beginning of week 2, you'll have your actual interview. And this is the agenda for that. General job fit interview questions from the link that you've seen many times by now. That'll last about 30 minutes. Then you'll ask those questions that you developed for about 10 minutes. And then there will be 20 minutes after that to just debrief and talk with your mentor about how things went, what things were really good, what things could be improved. You know, I've heard lots of people in the past, like when I've done this, ask like, how would you frame this experience that I have to kind of answer that question? So this is your chance to really just talk it out with your mentor and see how you can improve. Again, you're paired up here. So reach out to that person right away to get something scheduled. Any questions about the job fit interview? Good, I'm watching the chat, it seems good. Okay, great. Let's move on to the technical interview. Again, can happen at any time in week 2, recommend later in the week. All right, again, you'll be paired up with a mentor, just like in the job fit interview. The interview in the same way will last 1 hour, including time for you to debrief. So technical interviews are designed to assess your technical skills. Chris will tell you about it in his session, but they can take many, many forms. A lot of times though, we found they have a kind of take home aspect where you have to go do something technical, bring it back and then talk about it. And that's kind of how we've shaped our approach to talking about technical interviews here. So interview prep, Collabbies, again, right now, reach out to the person you are assigned with down here and get something scheduled. When you finish your take-home assignment, send it to your interviewer. The interviewers will use this rubric to assess your assignment. They'll fill this out before your interview. And there's kind of 2 paths you can take here, the easier path and the harder path, just depending on whatever you're comfortable with. You can ask the interviewer for that rubric to be returned before your interview, so you can kind of see what thoughts they had around it and what things might be stronger, what things might be weaker. Or if you want to simulate a more real life experience, you can not get that rubric in advance and go into the technical interview just ready to talk about your assignment, not knowing what the interviewer thinks about it. So coordinate that with your mentor. Doesn't really matter to us. It's flexible. It's whatever experience you want. Okay. And then also everybody should review the technical interview questions and be ready to ask them if you're a mentor and be ready to answer them if you're a collab. The agenda for this one, very similarly structured to the last one. You'll review that take-home assignment with the collabby and ask questions about the work. This is if you're a mentor. So if you're a collabby, be prepared to pull up on screen share the work that you did and walk through it. So this is what the assignment was. Here's the code that I put in place. If you want to expand on any of the code that you wrote, like if you intentionally made a specific choice, talk about that. And your mentor might be asking you questions through that, like, oh, that's an interesting choice. Why did you choose that method? Or what does that do? So be ready to just talk about the code that you wrote. Then after 20 minutes of kind of walking through that assignment, we'll take 10 minutes to ask questions from the technical interview questions, which again, you should be pretty familiar with by this point in Career Lab, week 2. And then there'll be 10 minutes time for you again to ask more questions that you developed in week 1 with Andrew's coming up with a questions session. And then just like the other one, about 20 minutes to debrief with your mentor, talk through your approach, what went well, what could be improved. Yes, exactly. Andrew's point in the chat is exactly right. Talking through your solution should be very similar to what you've been doing in your demos over the last 8 weeks. So good thing you've been practicing. All right, and you're paired up down here. Again, reach out right away to get those scheduled so everybody can have it on their calendars. Questions about the technical mock interviews? If you don't have questions now, that's okay. You probably will at some point, and we're totally here for you. So just drop them in the cohort channel because I'm sure other people are having the same questions, and we can all learn together. Awesome. Okay. So just going back over week 2 real quick, you'll complete your take-home assignment. You'll start practicing interviewing. You'll learn about the interviews, and then you'll actually have your interviews. Then on Thursday, March 17th, we have this really excellent session, Navigating Finances During a Career Change with our friend Luke. He'll come with some really great slides. And I love his session because finances are scary. They're really scary, especially when you kind of like haven't got that first big tech job, and he kind of walks through like how you should be thinking about your money. And it's a very casual conversation with a lot of really important information. So you're able to like ask questions like in the moment, and he'll give you really great advice. He's an excellent asset to our community, having somebody who is very involved in finance. Because money is scary for me. So I love having him. Okay. And then graduation, where we'll just get together and kind of celebrate what you've done at Career Lab, answer any other questions, talk about what's next for all of you, and kind of get some feedback on Career Lab as well. So just a recap, first week, very much involved with getting you ready to get that interview, getting your LinkedIn's up to date, telling your story. Week 2 is about doing the interviews, practicing interviewing. I'm going to stop my screen share so I can see your faces. One other call out that I want to make is that Career Lab very much should fall in line with what you've done at Collab Lab and is expected to only take about 5 hours each week. If you feel like it's going over that for any reason, or you feel like it's going to be a stretch to fit it all in, be loud about it, because we want to make sure we're building the program in a way that's suitable for all of you to be able to fit it into your schedules. So if you feel like you're taking long, don't be embarrassed, like, why is this taking me so long? Very much could be the curriculum we put together. And the only way we'll know to fix it is if you let us know. So please, with the feedback, we would love it. Feedback about the sessions in general. In the graduation, I am always asking, like, what was the most valuable? What was the least valuable thing here, so that we can continue refining it for future Collabies. So be loud. The only way Career Lab has been, Collab Lab at large, I should say, has only been built on the feedback of our Collabies. So your thoughts are very important. All right, with that, questions about Career Lab?
I have a question.
Sure.
I wanted to know if it'd be fine to also ask for like a resume review as well, along with our LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't guarantee that your mentor will be the person to do it, but be loud about it. If you ever want a resume, a LinkedIn review, anything, in the job searching channel, we have a lot of like professionals in the recruiting space too. So if you post over there, would anybody mind reviewing my resume? We'll make sure that somebody, a mentor or somebody, gets in there and gives you feedback on your resume too.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Of course. Also the session on updating your LinkedIn, I think will give you a lot of insight about what could look really great on your resume too. So like watch that, update your LinkedIn, and then probably reflect some of that on your resume. But yeah, totally here for you. And that goes with like job interviewing, mock interviewing too. If any of you post Career Lab in, could be 5 years from now. If you're like, I just want a mock interview with somebody, we're always here for you. Once a Collabie, forever a Collabie, we all want to help. So if you ever need help, we're totally here for you. Other questions? Good. Okay. So just to recap, the stuff you'll want to do right now is reach out to the mentors you're scheduling your mock interviews with, job fit and technical, and get something in the books for late week 2, and then start right away working on your LinkedIns. I'll be dropping messages in the cohort channel all through this to make sure you know what you should be working on and what things are coming up. But if you ever have questions, just be loud about them, because other people probably have those same questions too. Let's see. I see Alejandro. Should we need to create pull requests for our take-home assignments? Right. I would suggest you do your take-home assignment in the same way you've been working in Collab Lab. A lot of people with take-home assignments will just kind of like not create pull requests and just push it straight up. But this is your chance to really demo to a company how you work. And if they see you creating beautiful commit messages and amazing PRs and doing a self-review on them, that is like next level, especially for an early career engineer, because even though you might not have all of this experience that other candidates have, you're showing like, I'm really strong in other areas as well. So totally do the pull request, highly recommend. Okay, other questions?
Good job, Stacie.
Good. All right. Well, with that, we will end this. I'll post again in Slack for anybody who couldn't make it, what's expected and what's coming up next. we'll share this recording and we'll start prepping. Get those interviews. All right. It was lovely to see you all, and we will be around. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So